What is going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Crossout. We got some Clanwars for you today with my Tsunami Hover. We are looking at some games where we actually utilized the OCULUS pretty well today, because I want to argue that the OCULUS is such a freaking nice asset to most hovers and most builds in general. I see a lot of melees use it as well if they are hunting down hover players and stuff like that. You know, a lot of hovers has cloaks on them, and if they cloak up, it can be hard to find them, but an Oculus really helps you, because if it's fused for a bigger range, it has a stupidly long range, which is super nice. So we are looking just generally at some Tsunami games here today, but also just, want to highlight a few places where we actually use the Oculus, because if you're thinking about getting one yourself, definitely go ahead and use it if you have a build that it will be suited for. It does take up one energy, so you might have to replane some of your hardware, but it's a pretty good thing having in a lot of situations, in my opinion. But first game here, we are fighting versus I think the clan is called BHOL. They have two Typhoons, and then they have two, I think it's two melees, yeah, one Lancer and one Lance Harvester. So they have a pretty beastie setup, like two Typhoons and two melees. That's a pretty nice combination. But here, generally, the first game was pretty much just a trade-off for a pretty long time until they actually started engaging on us. Their melees was just waiting for a window rather than going in. The Typhoons were sitting on Icebox Spiders, so they have to be somewhat defensive, because Icebox Spiders are so freaking slow. We are just we are being a bit defensive ourselves, because we don't want to go just, you know, face first into two melees, but still trying to push forward a bit just to land some shots, and also indeed getting some pretty good hits from this window. While I'm sitting here, I'm just basically trying to watch out for warehouse and see if the melees are going to charge through there. I have my Oculus to tell me if they actually do, but they don't really seem to. So they are basically just allowing us to get a lot of hits. They don't really punish us for pushing all the way up there through mid. Even though those melees, if they really tried, they probably could have gotten me, especially since I go ahead and do the same thing again, because they didn't really pressurize me at all. So they might have wanted to sort of calculate it when I pushed up the second time, but they didn't. That just gave us a lot of windows to land some damage. I'm trash and I don't hit my hits. Land my shots, though, is what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't really matter in the end. But we still get a lot of nice pressure here out through mid, which is cool, and we can actually hold quite a lot of ground. As you can see, we can cover two lanes pretty quickly, or pretty effectively here, both trains and mid. So right now I feel like we have the upper hand, and we got some nice damage in on them. But this is Clan Wars most of the time, if you have people that are very defensive, but with like a few builds that can actually punish you. And as you can see now, they're actually learning. They're actually figuring. But I see people cloaking here on my minimap. As you can see, we got that little mark there for a short period of time, indicating that someone has cloaked up in front of us, which is one of the lovely things about the Oculus. Yeah, basically just wanting them to push, and since they don't, we actually end up pushing up here and getting a bit more aggressive than we were before, just to see if we can force any one of them to panic and go for us. I'm actually just trying to bait out the dogs. I just want the dogs to come out for me, see if they want to actually attack me or not. But they're still being a bit defensive. There we go. Finally, the dogs actually went in. As you can see from that Oculus, it's pinging in their direction, and they actually have one who went by trains, which is nice. We failed to decloak the dog here, though, which is a bit sad. I call out that we have like literally an invis next to us, but we failed to decloak him, which is a bit of a shame now that we have the opportunity to do so. But the boys react nevertheless. So we still get the kill on that Lancer. He was going for the last minute kill. Kind of missed that shot because I was Typhooned. But a very nice, like, a pretty nice bait nevertheless. We honestly just wanted them to come in here to this corridor, because as you can see, his allies can't really help him. So it's a party for us. We can kill him quite easily, forcing the Typhoons to push now and not really just walk into 4 people. So definitely, our plan went as intended. We just wanted to bait them out here, and we did so. I'm getting a bit beaten up. We have to watch out because we only have 1 kill, so we don't wanna go dying all of a sudden. So yeah, which we basically don't. So we actually end up winning that one with some pretty nice gameplay there in the first round. We are somewhat of the underdogs in this because none of us has legendaries, so, or not legendaries, but relics. So we sort of were underdogs, but we handled it quite alright in my opinion at the end. Nevertheless, we're trying to do the same thing here for the second round. Like, we're basically just waiting for them to push up at us right here, right now. I don't want to skip the footage because I still want to see you guys. It'll show you guys how we move back and forth and stuff. And still, we know, like, I'm no pro at this game or anything. So don't expect to watch this and become, like, a good player or anything. I just enjoy rewatching all of the footage and talking about what we did and why we did it. Which is always funny in my opinion. But basically, here, they actually start pushing us up here. So we allow them to come a bit closer. The reason that we don't want to like take the full long-range battle is because we want the help of everybody versus Typhoons, because we only have Tsunamis, so they are damages without a doubt. So we want them to get close enough for Axilla and Crossfaith to also being able to actually land some decent damage on them, since they have MGs. Like, Axilla is playing Reavers. Reavers have unlimited damage, yes, but they are super hard to hit with at longer ranges. So it's really nice to have them come close to us. I'm just trying to flank here to get a good position on them. Landing some, like, they are still pretty intact, so we're not landing big hits just yet. We need to get through that armor first. Now seeing the dogs cloak up, and as you can see, like, my Oculus just started pinging once again. They're showing that someone was actually cloaking close to us. And there, I see one, like, in the river there, calling the decloak. He's decloaked, he can't get to us. And that's just what's so lovely about this. My position here is a bit bad. You don't, like, when two Tsunamis or Typhoon Spiders is looking at you, you don't want to just sit there because you can't really hide. Oculus going nuts again, so I'm basically just calling for the decloaks. And again, decloaked. Now you can really see how effective it is. Both of the dogs freaking got decloaked, and one of them even got cap canned because he couldn't sneak up on us. So that's a pretty solid kill there. We are not quick enough to actually switch over to the Lancer afterwards, so he actually does get in and get a kill. But we have both dogs down now, so now it's a 2 versus 3, so we're just going in there to kill them. Boom, 1 kill done. Super nice. The second guy finishes off Doom, but it's still a 2 versus 1, and his cabin is fully exposed, as you can see, so we can land a lot of cabin damage on him. And that's, like, pretty much it. That's a wrap for the first round. Oh, I think we played against him. Yeah, we played against him. You know what to do? Just nuke the shit out of those shields. So as you can see there from the team composition this time, they actually had 2 Helios and 2 Melees this time. So somewhat the same. 2 DPS and 2 Melees, which is a pretty interesting setup still, especially versus Hoppers. Like, if those dogs can do their job properly and take all of the attention, those Helios can do some mad work while we try to kill the dogs. So, in theory, a pretty deadly combination. They're trying to get the high ground on us here to allow some room for the dogs, I think. If we all look at them, then the dogs can just sneak in. Luckily, still we have the Oculus, so it's gonna be hard for them to push in. So we're just brawling at this point, trying to see if we can chain. Me and Doom, we are looking at chaining our shots on them. So if we can, like, land one shot and I can land the next hit right after, we can actually, like, get hits through their barriers. The dogs pushed around though. The Oculus, as always. Here the Oculus is telling me that he's going up ramp, so I'm telling Axilla to just keep that decloaking going on the ramp. And we decloak them quite easily, actually. So we just try to reposition. The dogs get caught on cap cans because they are decloaked when they run in. Again, the Oculus is so freaking effective. And here we go, the Helios actually also engaged. I was expecting to handle this dude a bit better than I did, but I didn't realize that I actually lost my freaking bumpers in front, so he basically just chews through my build. I wasn't expecting that, let's just put it like that. But nevertheless, I actually end up like getting a pretty solid hit on him there again. For some reason whatsoever, he stopped going for me. I thought he might have thought that I was crippled, I don't know. But I can actually get back up there and do some work still, so I'm not like entirely out of the fight, but it is a bit hard when you are just scraping the ground like no tomorrow. So that is what that is, but they lost both their dogs, so it's just Helios left now. Crossfaith actually goes down, which is kind of annoying because we could have used him, but we still have like a pretty good grip on them. Because one of the Helios actually got super damaged throughout the fight, so he went down there. It was the dual Aegis, dual Helios player, and again, devs fix dual Aegis. I cannot address this enough. God damn it, dude! But we just going for the cap at this point because their Helios went for the cap. We have 3 players, so we're gonna get the cap easier than he is. So that ain't all that hard for us. Exil and me just go for the cap. Doom says that he can take him, so yeah, Doom just goes back to get him, which is a fine idea at this point because we don't want to wait, so he self-destructs. Really cool first game here. A lot of good decloaking going, a lot of nice map awareness, which is needed against these setups. And that's pretty much, in my opinion, why we won that first one, because we just had that map awareness that helped us out a lot. For the second match here, we go up for the first cover once again because it's a pretty solid place to be. You can see a lot of the map, and you can cover like a lot of ground without being too exposed yourself. Getting that Oculus awareness again, seeing that the boys actually like they just want to push up full on from the beginning. I miss my shot there because, as I said, I'm a big ass noob, but it's what it is. Getting a nice hit there on the Helios. Sadly though, didn't get any guns from him. I was kind of hoping. The thing I always want to do, if these guys, like a setup like this, as I said, the Helios can have a party if the melee draw all the attention. I want to be on the, I want like me or someone else to actually be on the Helios to keep the pressure on them, because you can see how like he was shooketh when as soon as I landed that shot on him, he just stopped firing. He didn't know what the fuck hit him. But Doom goes down because he took a shit ton of damage. So we try to pressure the rest of them and land some good hits on them, and just like keep just staying on them. And there we go. I actually degun one of them. A pretty nice hit there, directly into the Helios. So we get him degunned, pretty solid. Pushing up for the second one here. We just want to keep pressure on him so he doesn't have his Aegis as much, which goes down there, and boom, he's dead. His cabin was too exposed. And yeah, that's it for those games, boys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some vision on what the Oculus can actually do for you. If you enjoyed this, don't forget the subscribe button down below. And until next time, have an awesome day. Bye.